Hi, this is Josh Willson with ThinkTink.org, here today with Brad Willson, who's the co-founder and design director of Nakai Entertainment, and Jay Nakai, who's the programmer and tech director. They are indie mobile developers, and they're here today to talk about their company and some of their upcoming games. How's it going, guys?
It's going good. It's going really good. How you doing today?
Doing real good. It's nice and hot in Texas. Good old Texas.
Yeah, we're getting a cold front here, so I'm envious.
Nice. All right. So, when was your company formed? Give me a rundown on that.
So we formed up our company about 4 months ago, so we started off. Brad and I worked together for several years in the professional game industry, and we started kind of getting interested in the mobile market, just given how popular it was becoming with like iPhone and Android, and so we decided to try making an app, and that was our first one, Ninja Hamster Rescue, and we really had a fun time with that. We really liked working together, so we decided to go at it full time.
All right. Speaking of your previous gaming history thing, y'all care to mention where y'all used to work? Any other games y'all may have made?
Yeah, we both, before we started this project, we both worked at a company called Virtual Heroes, and that's based out of Raleigh, North Carolina. And majority of the games that we did there were, they call them serious games, anything from simulations to medical, healthcare. Jay and I had the opportunity to work on a game for HIV prevention in Kenya. And so we spent a fair amount of time in Kenya gathering research and released something for HIV prevention out there, which was pretty exciting. We worked on a NASA application to increase awareness of STEM and different other elements to teach the science, technology, engineering, and math. The NASA game is available on Steam for free these days. Yeah, we're not. Yeah, but yeah, I might as well start out there. And before that, before Virtual Heroes, I used to work at Rockstar San Diego, which after working at these two different companies, which were very different. I mean, from a AAA to a more of a education-centric gaming kind of environment, it was really important for me to go into the mobile arena, because what mobile allows us to do is really go back to the fundamentals of what a game really is and how to make it fun without going through and putting an insane amount of bells and whistles on it just to move it off the shelf. It just concentrates on more of the old school mentality of games, going back to Nintendo, where a fun game was a fun game, regardless of how many years and how much polish and just ridiculous amounts of money is thrown into it.
So you've gone from rocket science to hamsters.
Exactly. Yes, with ninjas. I mean, come
on. Which I'm assuming you can all download from the App Store.
App Store,
or Android Market.
Yeah, we have a free version for the iPhone. We also have a version for the Android and an HD version for the iPad. And that was a fun little endeavor. It was a great learning experience for us. We've made a lot of games, in our experience and our past history, but this was the first attempt at mobile, and it's a very different market, and so there's a lot of things to learn. Luckily for us, we're used to working in the industry, so the business aspect and a lot of the scheduling and production we were familiar with, so we're able to move forward on that relatively efficiently. But learning how the mobile market perceives games and what are the best elements for games was something that was very enlightening.
All right. So y'all have a new game coming out. I don't know if it's been named yet.
Yeah. So we have a new game right now. We're playing around with the name of Access Point. And this one we're really excited about because Ninja Hamster is a fun game. It's one of those games that we want people to play for anywhere from a minute to 5 minutes at a time. And
good dumb fun, pretty much.
Yeah, it's just a nice pickup game. This one though is really a more in-depth game because it's based around puzzle-solving elements, but at the same time, we have a lot of RPG elements thrown throughout it. So what we have is we have the feeling of character progression. We have unlocks. We have currency, experience points. We have an overarching story, and everything from microtransactions to potentially unlockable additional content. All of that is going to be in this game, and we really feel that not only are the core mechanics very strong, but all of the peripheral elements are going to just make the whole thing extremely appealing to the mobile market.
Very nice. From what I've seen of it, maybe cute's not the right word. It almost looks like cute cyberpunk a little bit.
It kind of is. I mean, it's a cross between. It definitely has a Tron feel to it. Tron, kind of the Shadowrun Matrix element of cyberspace. Things like nodes, mainframes, those elements, and the characters within it. The cuteness comes from more of we like to compare it to like Borderlands Claptrap kind of feel. As your guiding character throughout the whole process. So it is a departure from Ninja Hamster, whereas Ninja Hamster was completely a cute kind of foray into the mobile market. This one is more insane action, lots of amazing visuals, and just kind of a cute, engaging story throughout.
Right. And okay. Sounds very fun. When's it coming out? Winter 2011 or early 2012?
We're looking at winter 2011. As with any kind of development, you can always hit snag. Really what we're pushing for now. One of the things that we are cognizant of when releasing this is making sure that we get enough marketing and exposure, and we're not going to go toe-to-toe with Angry Birds 27. So we have to make sure to find the most appropriate time frame to go and launch it. But at the same time, we want to make sure that the project is very polished, and it's something that we can be proud of. Because we're looking for this game to springboard just the company as a whole.
All right. So you did mention, or we've mentioned, I don't know, somebody mentioned already that you've worked with Rockstar and NASA and whatnot. And now you're in the mobile industry. How has development process for a game on the mobile platforms being compared to more of a mainstream title? Is it easier for easy games? Is it harder for hard games? Or like, how is it?
I'd say so far it's been easier. We can be much more agile in our development. We have more opportunity to explore new gameplay mechanics, new ideas. Right now the overhead of switching to kind of like a new idea isn't that much, and so in that sense it's very liberating because we can just spend some time, see what works out and see what doesn't, and we have a lot of flexibility to do that.
Yeah, and it's also really nice not having to deal with publishers and designed by consensus, because that really just kind of hamstrings the development process. Here we have a small team, and everybody has valuable input. We're able to listen, but at the same time, Jay and myself have the final say on it. So it's really great. Here in North Carolina, we have a great tech community and a lot of startup support. So we're able to take our games out, focus test them within the public, so that by the time they go to market, we can feel pretty confident that that it's going to be well received. And that's something that at other companies we worked at, we didn't have the opportunity to do it, because by the time we were at a stage where we could focus test, we were past the point of no return. So there was no changes that really could be made. But in this situation, we can make it better because of that.
All right. All right. So, what are y'all's thoughts on the gaming industry and mobile gaming industry as a whole right now? Would you do anything different? Would you keep stuff you really like, stuff you really hate?
Well, I guess
this is rant time, pretty much.
I I guess just to start off, I mean, I'm really excited to see where the mobile industry is going to go. I mean, the potential for like just how big things can get is pretty huge. Mobile devices are becoming like ridiculously prevalent. Everyone and their mom and their grandma is getting them, so it really expands out the audience, which is really exciting. I think there's going to be an interesting shift though. Like a lot of games, like older school, like hardcore gamers are going to start kind of being disappointed, thinking that games are too easy. But I think that'll be an evolution of games just becoming more mainstream, being targeted for people who don't normally play games, but see it just as a form of entertainment. Like kind of like watching TV. So I think in that sense, yeah, like there's going to be a continued shift more to like kind of more of a casual type approach to how games are played.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, what we're really excited about with the mobile market is that there's no other system out there that has more of an install base than smartphones. But the problem is, and what Jay was talking about, is that the majority of people that own smartphones is everybody, right? And so what you have to do is, when you're making a game and you want to appeal to the largest demographic, you kind of have to cater it more towards the lowest common denominator. And your hardcore gamers, as much as they're very vocal and they're willing to spend a fair amount of money on games, when it comes to mobile, it's all about numbers. The people that are willing to spend $60 on an Xbox game, they probably won't be concerned with the new Angry Birds coming out, just because it's not necessarily geared towards that audience. But at the same time, I mean, I can't think of any other video game that has as much marketing craziness behind it as Angry Birds, where you have the T-shirts in Target and toys, and they're on every single commercial. And this is just a simple mobile game that, just by being in the right place at the right time, has created a kind of a flagship for any kind of mobile game identification. So, I mean, that's just extremely powerful. So there's a lot of power with that. I mean, what's scary for me personally on the mobile side is that since the games are priced so small and the capital to create a lot of these games isn't too big, the market's becoming very saturated with a lot of different developers, and so you are going to have to try any avenue possible to get that exposure, to get those numbers up. Say you sell a game for $1, you need to sell a lot of games to be able to make some money off of that. So, it's just an interesting concern.
And I think that actually what Bev was saying, how trying to do whatever you can do to get as many people to know about your game as possible. I think that's going to be push a lot of mobile games to start integrating a lot more with social networks. Whether it's just little things connecting to Facebook or Twitter to post status updates on that you're playing a game or whatever. I think there's going to be a lot more integration there, because people are going to developers will want to have people advertising for them. And so if someone's willing to post Facebook updates saying that they're playing a game, the developer's going to want to support that, because that helps them as well.
Speaking of the indie development and whatnot for mobile, any tips, warnings to any future hopefuls out there?
Well, there's a lot of tips. I mean, the biggest thing is be prepared for a lot of work. It's there's so many things to keep track of. Marketing and PR is going to be one of the biggest things you're going to have to learn to take on.
Right, and nobody really wants to do that.
Yeah,
it's necessary evil.
Yeah, but I mean, I used to spend most of my time programming. Now it's maybe about half my time is spent on marketing type stuff. Because it's the good old days of the early Apple App Store, where the 12 apps that were up there were making $1 million a piece. That's pretty much gone nowadays. There's so many little things out there now that you really need to have some buzz around you in order to get noticed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I'd say another thing too, which is not to discourage people from going indie, but I think it's really beneficial to a lot of indie startups to have a little bit of industry experience before they start, because I've just seen too many indie studios that don't really understand the business and the production and development pipeline, that they're all doing a lot of things, but it's just not being structured in the way to be very beneficial. I mean, you have a lot of companies that start up and don't even release a single title, and that's definitely scary with the mobile, because with mobile, you can either go and put all your eggs in one basket for a huge title, or you can go through and have a lot of small titles and increase your revenue streams on that. But at the very least, you need a title out. And too many people, just get focused on perfection, or they keep redesigning the entire thing. I've seen it way too many times.
Yeah, another thing is just be persistent. Like Brad said, a lot of people will get 90% of the way there, and that last little bit of to try and polish it up and do all the little annoying things. I mean, a lot of people just stop there because that's when it stops becoming fun, and that's kind of like the point where it's like it goes from being a hobby into being a job. And if you can stick through that, you're gonna get something out generally. But a lot of people, they hit that point and then they just kind of stop.
All right, everybody. Make sure check out Ninja Hamster Rescue, which is already out, and Access Point, which is coming out in winter 2011. Looks like a very fun game. Be sure to go to Nakai Entertainment. How do you tell me again?
Nakai.
God, Nakai Entertainment. That's Nakai.
AI.
Yeah, I can't read today. Nakai Entertainment.com. Be sure to check out what they got there. And this has been Brad Willson, Jay Nakai Entertainment. I'm Josh Willson. Thank you for checking out the show.
Second chance will never